So guys, Festus Keyamo has come out so fierce against Peter Obi and Datti Ahmed. He has petitioned the DSS to arrest Mr. Peter Obi and Datti Ahmed.
Festus Keyamo has petitioned the DSS asking the security outfit to arrest Mr. Peter Obi, a candidate of the Labour Party in the just concluded presidential election, and his running mate, Mr. Datti Ahmed. The senior lawyer has also asked the DSS to arrest and prosecute Obi and his running mate.
And when he was asked why he took such a decision, listen to what he's got to say.
You have a right given, donated to you by Nigerians, and you become too condescending. You genuflect too much and you beg too much. It also conveys the feeling or the impression that you have stolen something and you are begging to be accepted. So that is also the danger of the other extreme of becoming too conciliatory and all of that.
So he's saying that if they continue to beg, it will look as if they've stolen something and they are begging people to just allow them. He's trying to say that if they continue to be on the begging side, Nigerians will think that their mandate was stolen. But if they come out hard, they will know that they've drawn the line. So guys, I'm going to allow you watch this video. Take a cup of coffee, relax and watch this video and listen to what Festus Keyamo said, and let me know what you think in the comment section below.
Person of the All Progressives Congress APC Presidential Campaign Council and senior advocate of Nigeria, Festus Keyamo has petitioned the DSS asking the security outfit to arrest Mr. Peter Obi, a candidate of the Labour Party in the just concluded presidential election, and his running mate, Mr. Datti Ahmed. The senior lawyer has also asked the DSS to arrest and prosecute Obi and his running mate over alleged incitement and treasonable felony in the petition addressed to the DG of the DSS, which was dated 23rd March. The minister opined that in a post-election period such as this, there is a need to soothe frayed nerves, lower the temperature, and begin the healing process. I'm being joined by Mr. Festus Keyamo, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Minister of State for Labour. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much. And then first of all, Ramadan Kareem.
To our Muslim brothers.
Our Muslim brothers and
Absolutely,
sisters.
Yeah.
They started the Ramadan.
So let me begin by asking you, what prompted your, and if you can be specific, there must be something that annoyed or angered you, because you said you are doing this in your own personal capacity. You have written to the DSS, although the DSS has not granted your prayers. But what was it that moved you to that point?
Well, let me start by saying that in this post-election period, campaigns are over. So normally we are torn between the extremes of, going full conciliatory in our tone, or, being as firm as possible, in asserting our mandate and our rights, to govern this country as given to us by majority of the voters. Now, we have been instructed by the president-elect, and you saw it even in his open letter, that look, we should begin the healing process. So this combative tone of now we adopted during campaigns, we ought to jettison all of that now and then begin to, stretch our hands out to the opposition. Remember, the moment the results were announced, I was the first as the spokesperson of the campaign council to say, look, don't taunt them. They are patriots, they are our brothers, they mean well for this country. It's just that, perhaps the templates they sold to Nigerians were less attractive than, was less attractive than ours, and now more Nigerians accepted us. But they are patriots. And that's the kind of language we want to see now. But then it appears too, and this is the point I want to make, that when you now have a mandate to defend, you have a right given, donated to you by Nigerians, and you become too condescending. You genuflect too much and you beg too much. It also conveys the feeling or the impression that you have stolen something and you are begging to be accepted. So that is also the danger of the other extreme of becoming too conciliatory and all of that. So there must be a point at which you draw the line to say, look, I have appealed to you enough. For the sake of our country, let us come together. And I think that is the line that Peter Obi and Datti Ahmed, they have crossed. There is a constitutional process to address grievances. A process has taken place. An election has happened in accordance with the law. Results have been declared by the body constitutionally imbued with the right to declare that result, which is INEC, not any other body, INEC. INEC has declared a president-elect. The Constitution also envisages that certain persons will be dissatisfied with that declaration. So we are not in a position or situation of constitutional crisis like Datti Ahmed tried to paint. This situation was or has been envisaged by the Constitution that certain persons will be dissatisfied. And if you are dissatisfied, there are laid down procedures to address those grievances so that democracy will function, those institutions will function, and democracy will function and will survive. Now, what is going on is that Datti Ahmed comes here, and it has been a series of interviews by himself and Peter Obi. Yesterday was the final nail on the coffin. It was the final straw that broke the camel's back. That somebody who wanted to become vice president of this country, of that level, would come here, sit before the world, and tell the world that he does not recognize a president-elect that has been declared by the Independent National Electoral Commission, and that the president-elect must not be sworn in, and that he does not even recognize, the process that they have, started, in court. He does not trust that process, I mean. And that's the person who wanted to become vice president of this country. How? And then he arrogates to himself the right or the power to interpret the Constitution, interpret, Section 134 of the Constitution to suit his own whims and caprices, and then declares that what the INEC did was totally unconstitutional, and that what will come in on May 29 will be an unconstitutional government. It is the delusion of grandeur. It's complete delusion of grandeur for anybody to say now that there is no president-elect, which is it's complete delusion of grandeur. So
that is the specifics
yes,
of your anger.
Exactly. Just to tell you that amounts to subverting the very process that they have started in the tribunal. They are subverting that process by coming out of that process to then call for insurrection in a subliminal manner, for protest and insurrection to truncate that process. I want to say this clearly, that the process we have established since 1999 is that elections take place. People are sworn into office, but those who have grievances are given the right to continue their grievances, air their grievances in court. And some months into their tenures, if the judgments come in, they are removed from office. So there is nothing so serious that he came to raise here yesterday about swearing in somebody who has been given a certificate of return. Himself, Obi Datti Ahmed himself, was removed from office twice. He stole people's mandates. And I'm not saying anything gross. It is judicial pronouncement that you stole a mandate. He was sworn in as a senator, was he not?
He accused your party of stealing.
But hold on. But he was sworn in.
And I'm asking.
Let me finish. Let me finish this statement. He was sworn in as a senator. But the person who was challenging his victory continued his case in court. Another CPC, under the same Buhari that he's abusing now, he rode under his wings, purportedly won a Senate seat in Kaduna, was sworn into office. Nobody said he shouldn't be sworn in at that time. But he was carrying a stolen mandate. And at the end of the day, there was judicial, pronouncement, and Baba that time was removed from office. Why is he opposed to that same procedure that he benefited from? In our own case, it is not an admission that our election was flawed, was totally flawed to the extent that it substantially affected, the result of the election. No, I'm not admitting that. I'm not saying that this is a procedure we have since established in 1999. So why?
So you think that the election was flawed?
Oh, what?
You think that the election was flawed?
No. I'm saying that it was not flawed to the extent
But it was flawed.
No, in some areas there were infractions in areas. In the southeast.
But the allegations are that
in the southeast. In the southeast there were flaws. In the southwest there were some flaws.
That the victory of your party is illegitimate because they believe that there were a lot of voter suppression and in fact it's a stolen mandate. Those are the words of the opposition.
Who has the right? Who has the right to make that determination? You were asking him yesterday. Institutions must function. How can someone who is a participant in the process now arrogates on himself the right to be the judge and the jury and the accuser, and you are a participant in the process? In fact, yesterday I heard one of the strangest sentences I've heard as a lawyer. You know that sentence he came here to say, and I'm not surprised because he's not a lawyer, but he runs an institution. He said, this section of the Constitution comes interpreted. You heard that yesterday. That no, you don't need to bother. This section comes interpreted. I have never heard that in my life. What I have heard from my life as a law student is that the right to interpret provisions of the Constitution lies in the judiciary, and that's why you have a tripod.
And I'd like you to get your own interpretation. But just before we get further into that controversial section 134, because on this program I've had to speak with a former NBA president, Olisa Agbakoba, who 2 or 3 months ago raised this matter and said it's going to be a problem and it's likely to cause a lot of chaos in our election because, according to him, it's not clearly stated whether or not FCT as the Constitution captured it. But let me ask you, what he said, part of what he said, and part of what the opposition has said is that when you tell people to go to court, it then means something, that you steal something from them and you are asking them to go through a process in which you are predetermined or you have your way around that process. So
just hang on.
That is one of the interpretations of go to court coming from your camp.
Just hang on a minute. If I don't say go to court, what will I say? It's a rhetorical question I'm asking you. If I don't say go to court, what would I say as a winner?
But does it also mean that
will I say come, let's fight?
Does it mean that you predetermine the process?
No, not predetermined. I'm only asking you a rhetorical question that answers your question. If I don't say go to court, what it means, if I don't actually use that word, that sentence, is that avail yourself of the procedure of the machinery for addressing your grievance as provided for by law. That is what it means. I'm only saying it in specific terms, go to court. If I don't say go to court, the next thing I will say is that, come, let's fight. So why are they using such phrases or such sentences in a derogatory manner? It is what is provided for by law. And people have actually retrieved their mandates by going to court. It is only when it does not favor you, and that is what the Labour Party is doing, and that is why I had to petition them to the DSS. There's a build-up to something that they are doing. There's a build-up. The build-up they are doing is to rile the people up, pump them up, and then turn them against the judiciary, that if your judgment does not go in a particular way, and that is why he has come here yesterday, he came here yesterday to say the Constitution comes interpreted. What does that mean? He's telling the judiciary that this thing, I have interpreted it, the people of Nigeria have interpreted it, and if you say anything different, they will come after you. So I need to make this point. I need to make this point. That is where they're going. And so they are setting up a scene for rebellion. And they are setting up a scene to blackmail the judiciary. And that is why if you go online now, they have alerted the DSS that they have camped some boys in one popular hotel in Abuja, and I will give that information to the DSS, where they have told them every morning to be pumping out, online messages to rile up the citizens, cause fear, and all of that. And so, what they want to do is to say, once the judiciary now goes another way, then the judiciary must have sold out. So and that's why they are threatening the judges. And they have gone up to that point. I want to make this point. Nigerians must know that the Labour Party online touts now are threatening judges, threatening their families, exposing them. Go online and see what is happening. And so there is a situation where they want to create fear in this country. They try, you know that during the elections, they try to threaten people to support them. They failed. During the announcement, they tried to threaten INEC. So everything about them is threats. To threaten INEC to support them, they failed. Now they want to move to the judiciary. It is enough, is enough. Shehu, we are ready. Let me tell you this. People who voted, and majority are that, who voted for Asiwaju and the APC, they are the silent majority now. And so if they think they want to push this country towards NSAS, where it was citizens, NSAS was a situation where citizens were dissatisfied with a policy of government, an institution of government called NSAS. That was totally different. But they think they can rile up and citizens towards a situation of SARS again, but NSAS. But this time they should realize that this is not activity, it's pure politics. And if you want to do that now, it will not be citizens against government, it will be citizens, voters against voters. People who voted for the ruling party.
You imagine that the mandate of your candidate and for your party is it popular?
So I will ask you this question, a rhetoric question again.
No, I'm not supposed to answer.
It is.
I'm supposed to be answering.
No, it's a rhetoric question that I'll use to answer you. That Peter Obi, with the kind of message he preached, did he expect, in all honesty, a man who came third or saying the confessed, did he expect, in all honesty, to win in areas where that message did not, go down well with people? He was telling the churches, take back your country. Take back your country from where? Now, look at the heat map of the votes. Look at the Nigerian map. Pick it up and look at the heat map of his votes. He succeeded in those areas where his messages sank in about Christians take back your country. He forayed into the middle belt where Christians are predominant and ended there. He could not go further than that place. Look at the heat map. And so the heat map exactly reflected the kind of message he preached to people.
So within the ambit of the law,
I'll tell you this.
Within the ambit of the law, if someone is hurt by a process and he lost out in the process and he thinks that that loss was illegitimate, it was edged out illegitimately within the ambit of the law, does he not have the right under the law and the independence of mind to be able to speak out?
Oh, there. But you don't say you don't recognize a legitimate government. That is treasonable felony. What Peter Obi and Datti Ahmed are doing is treasonable felony, and we must draw the line for them now.
That is your interpretation.
No, it is not. It is when
it is the courts to
when you don't recognize a legitimate government that has gone through the process and it is legitimate, and you say you don't recognize it, you want to live your own life, it is treason. And let me tell you this.
That's how you interpret it.
What Peter
until
Obi,
the court now said
what Peter Obi, and that is when they will defend themselves now. But you must be charged first. Do you understand me? You will be charged for that. That's what I'm telling them to do. I'm not interpreting. They will charge them for that. Charge them and go and defend yourself. Why you are calling on people to protest?
That's the remit of the states to do this.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why I've submitted myself to process. Have I not? Did I come here to say I will go and arrest them physically? I'm a senior lawyer. I've instituted the process. I have started the process. And you see, what they are doing, let me tell you, they are living in a bubble of their own. Peter Obi, Datti, and his supporters, I'm saying this on air, they are living in their own bubble. They are not hearing the other voices of Nigerians who are saying, we hate your bigotry. We are not buying your message of Christian votes. We are not buying your tribalism. They are not hearing those voices. There are voices in this country. So no, hold on. There are voices in this country saying we don't like those messages. But they are not hearing those voices. They are living in a bubble of their own. And they will hear those voices very soon if they continue with this nonsense they are doing. Right. As from now on, it's going to be propaganda against propaganda, word for word. We will meet them everywhere because Asiwaju has a mandate he will defend. And we're prepared to defend that mandate.
And you politicians are not afraid of burning this country with the manner in which you have described.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you why. If you want to push your supporters to protest, it is only where you are popular you can protest. So you are going to be burning the areas where you are popular. Do you want to tell Obi that I can call us protesters in Kanu? Can he call out protesters in Ekiti? Can he call out protesters in Ondo? Can he call out protesters in Borno? Can he call out protesters in Jigawa? Go and call them out now. Right. You can only call out protesters where they are popular. So you'll be burning areas where you are popular. That is where you can burn.
Let me pause you for a moment. I will take, we'll pay some bills and we'll come back to the conversation. And I'd like to know your own interpretation of Section 134 in also looking at Section 229. These are some of the issues that have been raised yesterday, and I get your reaction to those issues. Stay with me, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. Let's bring these news quickly to you about the activities of the People's Democratic Party and some disciplinary measures that have been taken. We understand now that the former governor of Ekiti State and the former SGF, former Senate President Pius Ayim, alongside Governor Fayoshe, Professor Itavaya, and Aslam Aliyu have been suspended by the People's Democratic Party. Governor Autumn of Benue State has been referred to the National Disciplinary Committee. We're getting more reactions on that and on Channels Television News at 10 and more stories on that. Let's continue our conversation with Mr. Festus Keyamo. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
Thank you.
Let me take you to Section 134. My guest yesterday was saying...
Before I just go there, just for 1 second, to mention this. That it is important we mention to Nigerians that there has been no time where Labour Party has come up with alternative figures that they got from polling unit to polling unit. That is very important before we delve into Section 134. That it is important to say that every party has polling agents in every unit. And so you must have obtained your own alternative figures different from what was obtained. So all of these claims that were rigged, that's important I mention that. So that we don't finish the program without mentioning that to Nigerians, that the basis for all of these agitations is not even there at all. There has been no alternative figures they have brought to Nigerians.
So your party, you have your own figures now?
Absolutely.
Because the PDP yesterday said they have their figures.
Yes.
The Labour Party yesterday on this program said they had their figures.
Exactly.
In fact, the PDP said they won by more than 4 million votes.
No, that is comedy of the century. It's comedy. When you say 4 million, where did you get it from? Where are your tabulation?
4 million of their votes was not reflected.
I just read the news just now about PDP. It has been It's just like the case of PDP was that everybody saw the accident that was waiting to happen, but they did not see that accident. It was an accident waiting to happen. Turned into straight into 3. Even the small one that was left was also further depleted by G5. How did you expect to win? So for Labour Party, coming back to Labour Party, they just come up, like Obi Datti Ahmed said yesterday, all they have done since, like the PDP has done to just manufacture a figure that we won by this, is to just manufacture big emotive words to sway everybody to say the election was a sham, it's a disgrace, it's a disaster. These are just emotive words without tying them to factual evidence. And nobody is bought by all that again. What they just want to do, Datti Ahmed and the Obi, is to pose as some kind of Rambo that have come to save Nigeria. That's what they are doing. But they have been designed, so they are determined to do anything, either unethical, unorthodox, to save Nigeria.
In all of this,
as Rambos, political Rambos.
They've said that they have evidence.
They are cunning lying machines.
Mr. Keyamo, they have said, the Labour Party said, they know that they won this election and with a better margin, and that they have their evidence and they are going to court to prove it.
We are very happy with that. We are happy. It's because I'm in cabinet now that you will not see me appear on the first day in court. But after May 29, on May 30th, you will see me. I'm working with the team. You will see me in court. The law is against my putting on my wig now as I'm cabinet, but I'm working with the team. So on May 30th, you are going to see me in my wig and gown in court. So I know the facts we have. I'm not going to reveal everything.
And I'm very sure that
I know the facts we have.
You have seen the petitions. You have been seeing reactions.
Of course.
And not only the election matter. That in fact, there are matters that have been raised bordering on the capacity and the qualification of your candidate to even run for office in the first place.
I don't want to impugn the judiciary here. Even if I would have used the word laughable. But it is important for me as a senior lawyer not to ridicule the judiciary. But at the end of the day, like I said, I tweeted a few days ago, I said, I'm excited about this petition. Why am I excited? Because those issues we shouted and tried to explain to Nigerians during the elections, that these things were useless allegations, you will hear from the judiciary, you will hear from their law lords loud and clear now when they give their judgment. And call me back. Keep this tape. Call me back after the judgment has been given. We all know law. We all know the law. Even the opposite side, they know too. Some of them have called me to say first now we just do our work. They told me.
Are you predetermining what will come out?
No, I'm not talking. I said that's why I said I will not impone on them. But call me back after the judgment and say those simple issues we have tried to explain Nigerians, they will be exposed. And I'm excited these things have been brought to their petition so that we can have final judicial determination of those issues.
All right.
You will see them.
Let me take you to section 134, and I'd like to get your own reaction. So if you can put it on the screen. And this is what section 134, subsection 2. And clearly what it states about how an election of 2 or more people in an election for the presidential race will be determined. A candidate for an election to the office of president shall be deemed to have been duly elected where there being more than 2 candidates for the election. Hey, the first instance is that he has the highest number of votes cast at the election, and the B part says he has not less than 1/4 of the votes cast at the election in each of at least 2/3 of all the states in the federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. That is where the controversy came. What is your own interpretation?
You know, Sean, you want me to expose our briefs here now, but I'll give you a small expo because here I will not start arguing our case. But let me give you one small expo. Do you know what we call expo, when we're in school? Now, there's what you call the spirit and the letters of the Constitution, or the letters and the spirit of the Constitution. There's also what you call the community reading of the provisions of any law. What has been long established in our laws is that the Constitution and its provisions must not be read in isolation. These are very elementary principles that all lawyers know, and I'm sure you know that too. Before we came already, you said I should not refer to you as a law student, but I must refer to you now. You must have heard that in your law class. Because there's a community reading.
It's not very still. You use that, but it's your intimidation tactic. But it doesn't move me a bit.
You are growing now. You are growing.
It doesn't move me.
You're not intimidated again.
I've seen you as a young lawyer, and how intimidated you were. No. But thank God that you are bolder than you were before. But please go ahead.
All right, now, so those are the 2 things I've told as a guide to looking at section 134. 1, there must be community reading. And there's what they call the spirit and letters of the Constitution. First question to you. The Constitution says everybody in Nigeria is equal for the law. There's equal rights before the law in Nigeria. That you cannot dispute. It's a standard, clear, settled provision of the Constitution. Equality before the law. Secondly, if you say there's equality before the law, and you now say certain voters existing somewhere should now hold what they call the golden card to override all other states in the federation, does that meet the spirit of the Constitution to make everybody equal before the law? You are now making people residents in Abuja higher citizens over and above other citizens of Nigeria. That is what their own warped interpretation is taking us to. That there's a special set of voters in Nigeria. Unless you woo them to that point of 25, you cannot be president of Nigeria. Even if you get up to 36 states, and you clear all, but Abuja will deprive you from becoming president of Nigeria. Is that kind of interpretation, does it accord with the spirit of the Constitution? That is one. I'm not going deeply into the arguments. I'm only giving you peripheral arguments.
But there are
Secondly, I'm going to tell you.
This matter.
Again, I'm going to come back.
Yeah.
Read section 134. In conjunction, like I said, Constitution must be read as a community, document. Read it in conjunction with 299.
All right. Let's put up 299.
Section 299. Put up 299, which they have been hiding from Nigerians. Read them.
So that's what 299. The provision of this Constitution shall apply to the Federal Capital, Abuja, as it were one of the states of the Federation.
That's all.
And accordingly,
That's
if
all.
it were.
That's
so
all.
it means that.
That's all.
Does it mean that the Constitution
sees
FCT as the 37th state?
Exactly. All you just need to do when you read these 2 is that section 134, for the purpose of this, for the purpose of that section, it is an inclusive provision. A provision that tries to include Abuja amongst one of the states. In fact, to understand 134 better, just remove the sentence and the FCT Abuja. People would have been asking, if you say if you cut 25% in, 2/3 of the states of the federation and you keep quiet, people would have been asking, 2/3 of the states and Abuja, say, what about Abuja? What about Abuja? So what that last phrase means is just to confirm to people that you calculate Abuja along with it too. That's what it means. Simple. So in practical terms, let me bring it down and break it down for Nigerians to understand. In practical terms, it means that if I need to get 25% in 24 states, and I now get 25%, I get the 25% in 23 states. And the FCT, what it simply means is that FCT will be calculated as a state so that you have met the requirement. Am I clear? That's in practical terms. That is what it means. I'm trying to calculate, bring it in practical terms for people to understand. That if Asiwaju or Atiku had gotten 23 states, 25%, and they say, oh, you cannot be president. Or they say, no, but he got 25% in FCT too. Oh, yes, it's included. It should be treated as a state too. So what it means is not to elevate Abuja and to treat it separately as an elevated to a status higher than the state. In fact, their interpretation they are bringing to section 134 is an interpretation that even negates the spirit and letters of that particular section that even tries to include Abuja among the states to be calculated. Now, the corollary to this is Washington, D.C. Go and look at the constitutional development of America. Washington, D.C., is not one of the federated states of America. It's a federal capital territory. And so before...
And fighting for statehood.
Exactly. Before 1961... the voters in America were not allowed to choose electors, which is the electoral college that determines America's president now. But in 1961, I think it was by the 23rd Amendment of 1961, that they now brought, DC in, and they said they can now choose, I think, 3 electors or so to now take part in the electoral college. So that is the meaning that they were agitating to be treated as one of the other states. So our constitution, therefore, without waiting for that agitation, they adopted, what section 134 did, was to adopt the 23rd Amendment of the American Constitution. That's the meaning. We are going to go into it, history when we argue our case in court. It draws its strength from the 23rd Amendment of the American Constitution that says, treat DC as a state for the purpose of electors. That is what it draws it from.
So Datti yesterday has said, yes, it might be dangerous for your candidate and the president-elect to be sworn in if there is no clarification and settlement on this provision of the section 134. What other pathway do we have to douse this tension?
There is no tension. The tension is in Baba Datti Ahmed's mind. Tension where? He wants to come to Eagle Square or do what? What is he saying? What is Datti Ahmed saying? That what? That INEC should have gone what? Should have stopped announcement to go to court first?
If the lines if the lines of Mr. had raised this issue, your candidate is at Bakoba Supreme Court. Your candidate did not.
You quick quoting my very respected fellow. Hold on.
But he has raised it before.
Respected fellow. But is this Supreme Court? Did you hear views of other senior advocates too? He's my very good senior brother. But you keep going back to Oluga. What is Oluga?
It's one of those who have raised it.
But the other issue, the other lawyers who have said is nothing. What's them too now? Am I not a senior advocate? So what's the meaning of this?
But the question is that, as it is, your candidate...
So the INEC should have waited, should have stopped announcement to go to court.
Calm down, Mr. Keyamo. Your candidate did not make 25% in FCT.
Just like
the PDP candidate.
No. Just like Labour Party don't make 25%. In more than 17 states too. In fact, he didn't make 25% in 15 states. And now he wants to now rub shoulders with us that didn't make 25% in what? In FCT and 6 other states. We got 30, we got 30 states, you know that? The two of them, Obi and Atiku, did not even make the 24, and they are claiming they want to be president. Obi was the worst. He got 17, 25%, 17. And even look at the national spread of the votes. To even say who qualified to be president. Listen, by the manner of their campaigns, Obi made 9 states in the south and made 3 in the north central. He didn't even go to the core north. Atiku Abubakar got 9 states in the north and made 3 in the south. It was only Asiwaju that got 6 in the north and 6 in the south. That is the balance that Asiwaju brought to this, to this campaign. Again, it was only Asiwaju that got at least 1 state in each of the in all the in five geopolitical zones. It was only in the southeast Asiwaju did not get 1 state, but Asiwaju won at least 1 state in all the 5 geopolitical zones. Right. Again, Asiwaju came first in 3 regions and came second in 3 other regions. He never came third anywhere. Obi came first in only 2 regions. Atiku came first in only 1 region. So who had the spread? Who had the acceptability of Nigeria? Those are the people that are waiting for them.
Your candidate perhaps from analysts say, look, that is the that's the lowest margin or percentage of vote any president.
Festus Keyamo is claiming that Datti Ahmed's comments during an interview on Arise News amounts to treason because he refused to acknowledge Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be the president-elect, and for that reason, the DSS should arrest him. And not just him alone, the DSS should equally arrest Peter Obi. And somebody on Twitter was asking, please, what is Peter Obi's crime in this one? Peter Obi's vice presidential candidate made a comment, and now Festus is calling for Peter Obi's arrest. My people, can you just imagine this? Can you imagine this? If Festus Keyamo thinks he is strong enough or he's man enough, he should go after Datti Ahmed and leave Peter Obi alone. He knows that Datti Ahmed is a man of no nonsense. Datti Ahmed is a hard man. He's a man of no nonsense, and he's not ready to play the kind of dirty politics that these are old politicians play. He has come out to air his mind. He's not hiding his feelings. He has told the Nigerian people that he is not acknowledging Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be the winner of this election because of all the mago that happened during this election. We all know it. We all saw it. How figures were changed. Go and check the result sheets. How they were all tipexed. The APC is so desperate to retain power. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Give this video a like so that YouTube can recommend it to others. Turn on your notification bell for more uploads and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you. So guys, you can see for yourself that Nigeria is just a very funny environment for people to live because things that happen in Nigeria are always strange. Most times there are things you can't even find in other countries of the world, but they keep happening in Nigeria. You can imagine Festus Keyamo coming out to tell the DSS to go and arrest Peter Obi and his running mate. I don't know what gives this man these guts. As in, where does he get this kind of strength from? Where does he get this kind of, power to just come out and begin to say things that don't really make sense? Honestly, instead of them to be jailed, I mean the APC and their chieftain, those of them that rigged the election, instead of them to be jailed, they are calling for Peter Obi, who has been on the peaceful side. He has been the one, calming down the obedience, telling them not to go and protest. He has been the one telling them to just be patient, that he believes in the court system. What is it that Peter Obi has not done to ensure Nigeria has peace today? And somebody is telling DSS to go and arrest Peter Obi. Honestly, Nigerians, we've taken so much shit from these politicians, and it bothers me when I see young people like Festus Keyamo coming out. Every time he's on channels television or he's on a national TV, he goes so wild, as in you don't even see that son in him. You don't see him comport himself, as in he comes out so raw. He doesn't control his temper, as if, oh my God, thank God though that we have to vote before people become president. Otherwise, one day you will see this man become president. Nigerians, mark people like this. Tomorrow you may see him vying for the position of the president of Nigeria, but it's good he's coming out to show us his color. So we have to mark people like this. So guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I beg you to turn on the notification bell so that each time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Please give this video a like so that YouTube can show this video to others, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you.